everyone, my name's Christy. Welcome to my corner. Thanks for joining me today for pattern release weekend. I'm so excited. I was going to film a regular floss tube today, but I have just not had time to do much stitching, so I don't have much to show you. And I don't have much time today to do editing, so I figured, and then I had mentioned I was going to do a short video during the week of my new pattern, which released on September 1st, and I didn't have time to do that, so I figured I would just like combine it all and do a pattern release video. This should be really short, and essentially what I'm going to do is just show you the new pattern, explain it because it's a little chaotic, but I love it, and then also do a giveaway. But before we get to any of that, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty and artistic adventures, and welcome back to anyone who's been with me for however long you've been with me. It's been great to get to know you in the comments here on YouTube and also on Instagram, and if you're not on Instagram, you can find me in two places. I'll put them right here. The first place is Dr._Christy, and that's where I post you know, my stitching, my daily life, my dog, my nails, like whatever I'm doing. That's kind of my main Instagram account. And then I also have the spoolery, and that's where I post pictures of my homage to vintage wooden spools, which I love. I love vintage wooden spools. This is a channel about embroidery and cross stitch and other textile crafts like weaving and also vintage wooden spools and history and the history of all of those things. So if any of that is interesting to you and you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. I was going to do a whole like lead up thing, but I think I'm just going to show you the pattern, or at least show you the image, the front cover. And my new pattern is Temperature Birds. And I'll show you a more clear picture of the actual like stitched version in a second. But this is what the front cover looks like. And this is what it looks like in full. These are colors from my town in Mississippi. And they are birds on a wire. So each power line is 1 month and each bird is a day. And the fun thing about this, and the thing that makes it really chaotic, is that each bird is charted in two colors, in two different grays, 04 and 01. And what this gives you is, I mean, chaos. So if you look at my other patterns like the temperature drink shelf, the temperature books, you know, temperature library, you'll see that there's this like nice rainbow going down. This doesn't have that if you do the highs and lows. You can see that this kind of center section is more warm tones and the top and the bottom are more cool tones, but it's not a rainbow. So if you look at this picture, you can see I only colored in the high temperatures, and you'll get that nice rainbow effect. And you can make the, you know, the 04 section any color you want. I just kept it 04 for time's sake. And I like gray. I feel like gray goes with everything. It's a really nice neutral, in my opinion. I want to talk just a little bit about what you can expect in the pattern. You can find the link to my Etsy shop down below. And as you saw, you will get a cover sheet that also shows you what it looks like charted in the 01 and 04. Here's a little snippet of the only high temperature birds. And what this is a, I don't know, tips and tricks about what to do, and then also a temperature table, an updated temperature table with 25 different colors. Now I'll be updating my 2022 patterns for 2023 in the next couple weeks, and I will include this expanded 25 temperatures, because right now it has 20 temperatures. If you bought one of my 2022 patterns for 2023 and would like the new expanded temperatures, let me know. They'll be available. I'll just send them to you. It's not like a problem. I also charted numbers 0 through 9, so that way you can update this sign in this font, so you can update that sign in future years if you want to do that. And at the bottom here, you see I charted 3 snowflakes as your knickknack of December. But I know that a lot of people in the Southern Hemisphere stitch my patterns, so I also charted a Christmas bauble and a dreidel that will fit in those spaces if that is something that's interesting to you. Otherwise, you can put whatever you want in there, honestly. But I just wanted to give an option for folks where December is not winter. So I tried to be conscious of that. There are a couple things I want to point out about this pattern. Number one, the power lines are not perfectly straight. They step down twice and then step up twice. So it's 15 stitches between the lines, no matter where they are, but they sag a little bit because, you know, they're a power line, and power lines sag a little bit. The other thing I want to point out is that some of these birds are in front of the power line and some of them are behind the power line. So if this bird here, for example, is facing away from the viewer, and so the tail is over the power line, but this bird is facing towards, and so his tail is behind the power line. So keep an eye on that when you're stitching the power lines. It's not like my other patterns where you can just like zip through and do a line and then stitch the birds later. You kind of have to look at the pattern, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to make it interesting, so that's what I did. Also, some of these larger birds have their tails in front, and some of the knickknacks, like this one here, go in front of the power line. So just keep that in mind, that you may have to actually look at the pattern when you're doing the power lines. If you look at this little birdie here, we'll look at this hawk. You'll see that I did the beak and the feet in, I think it's 725. I did all the beaks and all the feet in 725. You can of course do your beaks and feet in whatever color you want. And I do kind of recommend, if you're using lots of yellows, maybe changing the color of the beaks and the feet. I didn't, and I like it just fine, but your mileage may vary. Something else I did that I thought would be really fun is charting Halloween as a bat right there. So the face, I believe, is the low temperature, and like the wing lines are the high temperature. If you don't want to do a bat, you can replace him with a bird. And I think almost any bird will fit there, so you can just pick a bird. But I thought it would just be really fun to stick a little bat in there. He's sort of like incognito. And then I also have some squirrels, 2 squirrels. I have an airplane here, and I'm actually quite proud of that airplane. I think it turned out looking really good, and it clearly looks like an airplane. But I was walking my dog yesterday, and I was like, oh, I might want to stitch a UFO there. So at some point, I'm going to chart a UFO that will fit in that spot, and I will have that available for free for anybody who wants to join me in stitching a UFO in that spot. My thought process, of course, is that these are power lines in the air, and so you're seeing things in the air behind, and that's why you have the fireworks and stuff like that. And then we have a little vine coming up, winding its way up the telephone pole. There's a little piñata just for fun, a Chinese lantern, a camping lantern, a nice balloon. And I did the balloon in red, white, and blue because the balloon is mostly in July, and for the United States, that is our Independence Month, and sort of people like stitching patriotic. But it's a balloon. You can make the balloon any color you want. And I was also thinking about a hot air balloon at some point, but I already had a balloon and a Chinese lantern and a plane, and I thought that may be too much. But that's an idea if you're interested in kind of stitching something like that. Oh, and then I also have some shoes that are dangling. Someone threw their shoes up there. And a spider. So that's the pattern. Those are the knickknacks. And as usual, I want to do a pattern giveaway. So if you are interested in winning this chart, in the comments down below, say caw, C-A-W. I was going to say birds, but then you can't actually talk about the pattern. So you're going to say caw, you know, like a bird. I will choose the winner of this pattern next flosstube, which should be next weekend. And if you've already purchased the pattern, I'll give you a refund. So if you've already purchased it, I appreciate it. People seem to have really liked it. I posted it on Instagram, and I appreciate all the love for this pattern. It is like pure chaos, but I love the chaos. So if you jumped on it and bought it already and win the giveaway, let me know and we'll figure out how to, I'll refund the money to you through Etsy. But if you're interested in winning, please say caw. I'm just going to keep making the bird noise. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do plan on having my final stitch tutorial embroidery 101 video on Tuesday or Wednesday, which will be lazy daisies and French knots, and then my normal floss tube will be next week. And I'm hoping that with 2 weeks, I will actually have things to show you. That would be really nice. But for now, I'm gonna go. I hope you really like the pattern. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm really looking forward to stitching it, and I will see you next time. So please take good care of yourselves and have a good one. Bye.